25 to 45, I know you feel this right now. We're gonna get right into it, but first let me clarify something really quick. In the comments, one of my recent videos, someone commented that I was advocating that people should just go around and just randomly start to steal or rob from people. Let me make something clear. First of all, the type of person that made the comment is obviously just a troll that, you know, goes around, you know, YouTube and just makes a bunch of, like, you know, accusations and claims and stuff like that to try to make themselves feel like they're a high intelligent being or something like that. That's what I noticed. So, but someone comment right up underneath that and said that they're just bringing, you know, engagement to my videos, and that's absolutely correct. Now, what I had implied on my most recent video was that people that are doing bad, if someone was on their last leg and they were trying to make it and get some extra, you know what I'm saying, just so they can make it to the next day, I'm saying don't take from the people that are doing worse than you, because there's a lot of people right now that are doing 10 times better than you, and those same people are the ones that are quietly stealing from you when it comes to taxes, when it comes to Wall Street, when it comes to housing. I'm talking about those people. So don't sit up here and act like I was talking about just some random innocent old person or, you know, some man, get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, 25 to 45, you guys probably feel this. There's a lot of financial turmoil going on, and, you know, it's affecting everybody, man. And especially in those age brackets. On the younger tier, it's a little bit tougher because, you know, they're trying to fight through a society that we have right now in America that no one has really ever seen before. And then you got the older ages that are specifically trying to make sense of what's going on, and they have never seen what is going on right now, right? We're talking about massive amounts of inflation. We're talking about extended gas prices. We're talking about things going on in the war, and it's crazy because, like, right now there's word in media that they're implementing a military draft. That's right, they're implementing a military draft in the near coming future that's worth $2 trillion. Let me say that again. It's worth $2 trillion. Last time I checked, the U.S. is in debt $37 trillion. So my question is, where are they going to get this $2 trillion? My next question is, why the fuck would anybody want their kid, their loved one, dealing with the oligarchs' fucking bullshit? So when it comes to the first question, where is the $2 trillion going to come from? I know for a fact that the oligarchs is not going to dig in their pockets and start pulling out a bunch of unalive presidents and start to divvy it out in order to cater to the stuff that they created. Let me say that again. They're not going to dig into their pockets, pull out a bunch of unalive presidents to spend on the shit that they created. You know what I'm saying? So, like, where are you guys gonna get $2 trillion from? People are in a state of mind right now where they're just trying to make it from day to day, and we just keeping it absolutely real. Forget all of the facade stuff, all of the, you know, oh, I just, you know, I got this new, you know, car, you know, which is rented, and, you know, and houses, Airbnbs, and look, We over that stage already. A lot of people right now in the age brackets that I mentioned are going through a lot of turmoil right now. You got people that are understanding that it's supposed to get worse before it gets better. Nah, man. That's just a old folk tale. That's just an old saying. A lot of us, we've taken these sayings and we've actually placed it upon us as being a live expectation. There's no such thing as something needs to get worse before it gets better. Let me give you a prime example, right? We are people, we're spiritual beings. We're spiritual beings, a part of nature, nature, right? Now, if you're getting ready to plant something, in order for it to grow, you got to place a seed, you got to water it, you got to do all the necessary stuff. In that whole process, there is no, I'm going to get bad before I get worse. You're going to do what you got to do. You're going to plant the seed, you're going to start the process, and you're going to go from there. And at some point, things are going to flourish and get better. But there's nothing about it getting worse. This is just these Americanized sayings and stuff like that, man, that's really put people in a real crazy mindset. You know what I'm saying? And I'm speaking, passionately, because not everybody's going to talk about this. Not everybody wants their content to focus around real life situations, right? There's going to be a lot of people that talk about, making money ideas. There are going to be people talking about motivational speaking, and there's nothing wrong with that. Is that going to ever help you? Who's to say, man? Because nobody knows exactly what's going to happen and what's going on exactly. But here on these videos on my channel, I tend to touch on things that people are going through on a day-to-day basis, period. So if you come to my channel, you're going to get, I'm just going to be straightforward with things. I'm going to be absolutely straightforward with things. You know what I'm saying? So in that age tier, like I said, it's getting real tough right now, man. And what I notice also is that as you're being attracted to the media, right? The media could be practically anything from news, to, social media where you got the phone just stuck in your face and you find yourself doom scrolling and stuff like that. And I also noticed that there's a lot of people still to this day what they call grifting. Like these people are taking these lanes and they're creating these lanes and they want you to be a part of these lanes so that way you can donate and give your last bit of earned resources to them in order for you to have some type of satisfaction, right? You got preachers that are doing that. I was like on live and I just flip through live, you know what I'm saying? I don't sit on there too much because people don't really be talking about much on live. And I was seeing that people are online, they are, taking the presence of you actually going inside of a church and preaching. They're doing it online, flipping, talking all this different stuff that they have no clue about what they're talking about. And people are dedicating their attention, and at some point, those people are going to request some funds from you. So not only are you guys feeling the turmoil of what's going on in your day-to-day, man, but you also got that, people doing stuff like that. Then you got, stuff like the FBA, Foundational Black Americans, you know what I'm saying? They are also in this weird organized cult that, they feel like, they kind of just sprouted out the ground, in this country, right? And we all know that in this country, so many thousands of years ago, it was a very cold place, right? And that's geography, like that's actual scientific geography this place was very cold, so that wouldn't have fucking happened. But you got them, they're talking about all of this, crazy shit, and it's also something where at some point you're gonna donate too. And it's just sad that people that they can't really direct their attention to things that really matter, like, yourself, your health, right? Being first and foremost, because without your health, you don't really have anything. And then what's obviously important is your family. It's hard to do these man-made, Americanized things and spend time with your family and get the most maximum amount of time from them, because most people right now are probably only spending like about 2 to 3 hours a day max, with their family. And it really depends on who that is, your son, daughter, wife, mother, father, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're only getting this much amount of time now. Yeah, like I said, every time this year moves, right? The so-called year moves from 2026 to 2027 to 20, and so on. It seems like that time is shrinking more and more, right? Shit is getting more and more harder to pay for, and the time that you have in order to do things that are important are shrinking. But I know that's just something that people are dealing with right now, and you definitely have my my sympathy in that retrospect, because some people are of the conscious light that can see it, but you can only do so much. You can only say so much, where people either gonna they're either gonna accept the information, the factual information, or they're going to turn it and flip it on you as if you're a bad guy, right? And in my perspective, man, I really don't care, man. If you watch these videos and you want to make me a good guy, cool. If you want to make me a bad guy, cool. I'm willing to take both of those aspects, whatever you want to make it of. I just know what I'm going to bring to the table is factual, and what you're going to bring is, and what you may be able to bring is a lot of defense, defending a lot of the bullshit that transpires in this country. Because, and the reason why you want to do that, the reason why you want to defend the country with your mentality is because all you've ever done was pledge of allegiance, right? When you pledge of allegiance to something, you are spiritually enforcing words stating that you're willing to, be unalive for a place that doesn't give a fuck about you. That's just the factual part about it. People are still pledging. They've been pledging allegiance from TK all the way, and they still pledging allegiance. FBA pledging allegiance. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, it's coming to a point, man, where you guys are going to, realize exactly what I'm talking about sooner than later. As these wars continue, and then you start to see that your loved one is going to be drafted, not to the NBA, not to the NFL, not to the MLB. They're going to be drafted to go and fight some shit that we don't even have to be in. Let me say that again. Your loved one, at some point, because all you want to do is defend this place, they're going to be drafted, not to the NBA, not to the NFL, not to the MLB. They're going to be drafted to a war that we ain't even supposed to be in. So you can continue to do that, man. That's up to you. But I'm going to continue bringing the message, man. People need to be more conscious of what's happening, man. Like, it's easy to get distracted. I once was distracted, for quite some time, through religion and through pledging allegiance. I was also distracted. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I was some type of, gift. You know what I'm saying? So at some point you're going to realize it. You know, whether it's through your pockets, whether it's through fake ass service draft, you'll figure it out at some point. But appreciate you guys stopping by to check out this video. My name is Sir Nicholas Brand. Until next time, peace.